Hello everyone, this is Ashish Mishra, Organic Chemistry Faculty, Narayana Group. Today I am going to discuss the topic isomerism in organic chemistry. If we write the isomerism term or isomers, first we should know the basic meaning of this term isomers. Because if you want to learn this topic, always learn that with the basic concept. If we discuss about isomers, the meaning of isomers is iso means same and mers means molecular formula. It means any two structures which are having same molecular formula but different properties, they are isomers. Means isomer is not an individual property. Minimum two structures are required to establish the relationship of isomerism. Iso means same and mers means molecular formula. When two compounds are having same molecular formula but they show different properties, they are called as isomers. Isomers, they are divided in two categories. First is structural isomers. That is also called as constitutional isomers. And the second one is stereoisomers. So we have initially two categories. Isomers are divided in two categories. One is structural isomers and second is stereoisomers. Whatever the name written initially, that only showing the difference in property. Suppose the meaning of this term structural isomers is isomers means they have same molecular formula, but the term which is written initially, that is only showing the difference in properties. It means the two compounds having same molecular formula but they have different structures. That's why they are called as structural isomers. And to get the different structures, I am telling you one meaning, simple meaning. The meaning is, suppose I have these two hands. In these two hands we have four finger and one thumb. It means structure wise they are same almost. First finger adjacent we have thumb, first finger adjacent we have thumb. It means structure wise they are same. Molecular formula is the same, structure wise they are same. How do I change the structures? If I cut this thumb from this point and attach this thumb here, then you can say, oh, now the structure of your hands are changed. It means if I want to change the structure of this hand with respect to this, I have to cut this thumb and place here. Then only we can say that the structures of hand is actually changed. It means to get the difference in structure, we need to change the bonding pattern. There is a change in bonding pattern. To get the different structure, we need to change in bonding pattern. The meaning of this point is, suppose I have this compound, like I have this, suppose 4 carbon. Suppose I have these 4 carbon chain, this butane. If I cut this methyl from the corner point and I place this methyl, suppose here, it means what I am doing, I have changed the bonding pattern. Here we have 4 carbon. Here I have placed 3 carbon, 1 methyl cut from this point and place here. It means I have changed the bonding pattern. Suppose in the same manner, if I have this butene, but1ene, if I cut this pi bond here and place the pi bond here, it means I have changed the bonding pattern. Here initially we have pi bond at first position. Now I have changed the bonding pattern. I remove this pi bond from this point and place here. It means I have changed the bonding pattern. In the same manner, suppose I have CH3CH2OH. I cut this methyl from this point and attach that side. What I'll get? I'll get CH3OCH3. It means again I have changed the bonding pattern. Whenever you want to change the structure, you need to change the bonding pattern. Bonding pattern means cut from some one point and attach on another point. See in the first structure, I have 4 carbon chain. I remove 1 methyl from this point and attach the second carbon. It means I have changed the bonding pattern. In the second example, I have this but1ene. I remove this pi bond from the first carbon and place that pi bond on the second carbon. It means again I have changed the bonding pattern. In third example, I have CH3CH2OH. I cut this CH2 from this point and attach this side. It means again I have changed the bonding pattern. Whenever I am changing the bonding pattern, I am getting the different structure. See, suppose by changing the bonding pattern, my 4 carbon chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. By changing the bonding pattern, my 4 carbon chain convert into 3 carbon chain. It means the length of carbon chain is changed. In the second example, when I change the bonding pattern, I got the different position of double bond. It means the position of double bond has been changed. In the third example, when I change the bonding pattern, my functional group has been changed. Alcohol now converted into ether. The meaning is, whenever we change the bonding pattern, we got the different structures. See, if by changing the bonding pattern, if we are getting the different chain, it means they are called as the chain isomers. By changing the bonding pattern, if a chain remains the same but the position of double bond has been changed, they are called as position isomers. If by changing the bonding pattern, our functional group has been changed, they are called as functional isomers. The meaning is that when we change the bonding pattern, we are getting different structure. By changing the bonding pattern, what kind of property is changing, that will decide the subname of that isomerism. By changing the bonding pattern, if a length of chain change, they are called as chain isomers. By changing the bonding pattern, if a position of double bond is changing, they are called as position isomers. By changing the bonding pattern, if our functional group is changing, they are called as functional isomers. Like this. The point is that structural isomers means the same formula, but the term which is written initially, that is only showing the difference in property. So structural means a difference structure, and when you want to get that structure difference, then you need to change the bonding pattern. By changing the bonding pattern, whatever the property is changing, that will decide the subname of structural isomers. So like that, we have 5 categories: chain isomers, position isomers, functional isomers, metamers, and tautomers. These all isomers belongs to the same category, structural isomers. So we are not in need care what are the categories, these chain. Simply you check, change in bonding pattern will decide these all categories. By changing the bonding pattern, what kind of property is changing, that will decide the subcategory of structural isomerism, right? One most important thing, whenever you change the bonding pattern, definitely IUPAC name will change. It means any 2 structural isomers, they will never have same IUPAC name. See here, by changing the bonding pattern, your IUPAC name of this compound has been changed. By changing the bonding pattern, IUPAC name has been changed. By changing the bonding pattern, IUPAC name has been changed. It means in 2 structural isomers will never have same IUPAC name, right? Okay. Now the second category, stereoisomerism. Point is, stereoisomerism is isomers. It means they belongs to the same molecular formula. Whenever 2 compounds having same molecular formula, they are called as isomers. The next point is stereo. Means here we have a change. Then how to change stereo? The point is here, no change in bonding pattern. No change in bonding pattern, only relative 3D arrangement change. Only relative 3D arrangement changed. It means here no change in bonding pattern. It means here structure won't change. Only relative 3D arrangement will change. Now I am explaining this. Suppose I have one structure like this. Here we have H, here we have H and Cl. Again we have H and Cl. This is one particular structure, right? If I rotate this single bond, because a single bond can rotate freely, right? If I rotate this single bond by 180 degree with respect to this front carbon, suppose this is a front carbon, this is a back carbon. Suppose if I rotate this sigma bond, single bond with respect to front carbon, what I'll get? I'll get front carbon as it is, front carbon as it is, back carbon is rotated by 180 degree. So Cl will come upward, and here I am getting both hydrogen downward. Now you check here, no change in bonding pattern. Initially carbon is having 2H and 1Cl, carbon is having 2H and 1Cl. Finally, again front carbon is having 2H and 1Cl, back carbon is again having 2H and 1Cl. There is no change in bonding pattern, but you see the relative arrangement has been changed. Initially, both chlorine are on the same side. Right now, both chlorine are in the opposite side. So no change in bonding pattern, only relative 3D arrangement change. Initially, the both chlorines are present on the same side. Finally, they are not present in the same side. They are in the opposite side. It means no change in bonding pattern, only relative 3D arrangement has been changed. Okay, then second manner. Suppose I have this double bonded carbon and here I have methyl, right? In this situation, the both methyl are on the same side. Suppose here if you want to rotate, suppose the sigma bond, you cannot rotate because here rotations are restricted. Because a sigma bond is having one pi bond. Whenever a sigma bond is having pi bond, rotations are restricted. We cannot rotate this bond right now. So then how to rotate? By any chemical process. Suppose here I am using some reaction, and suppose if I break this bond and I am getting the picture like this. Suppose methyl bond break into its own electrons. Electron. Now we have a free sigma bond. Now I can rotate this sigma bond and I am getting this picture like by 180 degree. I rotate this, here I am getting these electrons. Now again if I reform the bond, suppose if I reform the bond, what I am getting? I am getting this double bond methyl opposite side. Here I broke the bond here, and after breaking the bond I rotate it. After rotation, when they are present on opposite side, then again I reformed the bond. It means here again if you see, there is no change in bonding pattern. First carbon is having methyl and one hydrogen, what I actually didn't show. Second carbon is having again one methyl and one H. Finally, this carbon is having methyl and H, this carbon is having methyl and H. It means there is no change in bonding pattern. But again, the relative 3D arrangement has been changed. Initially around the double bond, both methyl present on the same side. Finally, if you see around the double bond, there is no change in structure, but relative 3D arrangement has been changed. Initially methyl same side, finally methyl present on opposite side. So no change in bonding pattern, only relative arrangement has been changed. Again they are stereoisomers. So stereoisomerism definition is no change in bonding pattern, only relative 3D arrangement suppose is changed, then they are called as stereoisomers. These stereoisomers are of two types. One is conformers and second is configurational isomers. Second is configurational isomers. Now the point is, one now important point, कि when both the isomers have change in relative 3D arrangement, then now what is the difference? Difference is there. Conformers means if 3D change, if a 3D arrangement change only via rotation, around single bond or sigma bond, then they are called as conformers. If a 3D change only via rotation, see here, if 3D change only via rotation, they are called as conformers, and they are continuously changing their 3D arrangement. They are called as conformers. But if 3D change, 3D arrangement change. If 3D change via breaking and reforming the bonds, breaking and reforming the bond, reforming the bonds, then only we get configurational isomers. See, in this case, by simple rotation we cannot change the stereo, we cannot change 3D arrangement. First we need to break the bond by any chemical process, then rotation, then reform the bond, then only I can change the stereo. It means if stereo is changing only by rotation, conformers, but if change in stereo is demanding for breaking and reforming the bond, then they are called only as configurational isomers. That is, both are having different 3D arrangement, but if a 3D change only by rotation, conformers, but if a 3D change by breaking and reforming the bonds, then they are only called as configurational isomers. And these configurational isomers are of two types. One is geometrical isomers, second is optical isomers. So finally, this is the summary of isomers. After this introduction, then we start the explanation of first structural isomers. After structural, we go for stereoisomers, right? Last, I'm going to just summarize this introduction. Isomers means two compounds having same molecular formula, but they have different properties. They are of two types. One is structural, second is stereo. Whatever the term is written initially, that only show the difference in properties. Here we have same formula, but difference in structure. To generate the difference in structure, we need to change in bonding pattern. By changing the bonding pattern, whatever the property is changing, that will define the subcategory. By changing the bonding pattern, if a carbon chain length is changing, they are called as chain isomers. By changing the bonding pattern, if a chain length remains the same, but the position of multiple bond is changing, they are called as position isomers. By changing the bonding pattern, if a functional group is changing, they are called as functional isomers. Like that, we have two more metamers and tautomers. See the stereo. Stereo, no change in bonding pattern. Only 3D arrangement is changed. It's like this. Initially, no change in bonding pattern, but by rotation, relative 3D arrangement has been changed. Here, no change in bonding pattern, but relative 3D arrangement has been changed. Initially, methyl-methyl are on the same side, now opposite side. See, stereoisomers are of two types, conformers and configurational. Now, what is the difference? If 3D change only by rotation and continuously changing, they are called as conformers. But if 3D change by breaking and reforming the bonds, then only they are called as stereoisomers. Right? Let's start with the first subcategory, that is chain isomers. Chain isomers, or another name is nuclear isomers. So in chain isomerism, the definition of chain isomers, that's very simple. Just by seeing that a term only, we can decide the definition. Isomers, the compounds having the same molecular formula, but the initial term is only showing the difference in property. So compounds having same molecular formula, but they have a difference in length of carbon chain. It means they have a same molecular formula, but difference in length of carbon chain. Length of carbon chain, that carbon chain can be parental carbon chain or that can be a side carbon chain, any carbon chain. So difference in the length of carbon chain is required to show the chain isomerism. For example, suppose first I have this C4H10. From C4H10 I have one 4 carbon chain, right? And suppose if I write 3 carbon chain and 1 methyl I place here, then I am getting 4 carbon chain. Parental carbon chain is of 4 carbon. Right now we have parent carbon chain of 3 carbon. It means they both are having the same molecular formula, but they have difference in length of parent chain. First compound is having parent chain of 4 carbon, while the second is having parent carbon chain of 3 carbon. It means both are having same molecular formula, but they have difference in length of carbon chain. That's why they are called as chain isomers. Second, suppose I have C5H12. I have 5 carbon chain, this one. Now I am writing 4 carbon chain and 1 methyl, what I have cut it here. Then I am placing here only. Now I am writing 3 carbon chain and remaining 2 methyl I am writing here and here. The meaning is first compound is having parent chain of 5 carbon, second compound is having parent chain of 4 carbon, while third compound is having parent chain of 3 carbon. It means all are showing the molecular formula C5H12, but first is having parent chain of 5 carbon, it is having 4 carbon, it is having 3 carbon. It means that they are chain isomers, right? Suppose the next example we have C6H14. I have a 6 carbon chain like this. Then I am writing 5 carbon chain, and what the methyl I have cut it from the compound I am placing here. Then again I am writing 5 carbon chain, but placing this methyl rather than this point I am placing here. Then 4 carbon chain, 1 carbon here, 1 carbon here, and then again 4 carbon chain, both the carbon here only. Now see, if I write the numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the parent chain of 6 carbon, here I have the parent chain of 5 carbon, here I have parent chain of 5 carbon, here I have a parent chain of 4 carbon, here I have parent chain of 4 carbon. Now you see, with respect to first compound, second is having change in carbon chain length. Carbon chain length has been changed. With respect to first, I am taking this first compound as a reference. With a reference to this first compound, 6 chain, but here we have 5 carbon chain, 5 carbon chain, 4 carbon chain, 4 carbon chain. All are showing the same molecular formula C6H14, but everyone showing the difference in length of carbon chain with respect to the first compound. It means with respect to first, they all are chain isomers. But suppose if I compare these two, here if I check, then both are having the length of a same carbon chain. Here 5 carbon chain, here 5 carbon chain. It means there is no change in the length of carbon chain. There is a change only in the position of a methyl. Here we have methyl on second carbon. Here we have methyl on third carbon. It means length remains unchanged, but the position of a methyl has been changed. It means they are position isomers. But with respect to first compound, they are chain isomers. Now you check these two. If I check these two compounds, both are having carbon chain of 4 carbon length. So by length wise they are not different. They both are having the same length, but position of both methyl has been changed. Here we have both methyl, one is on second carbon, next is on third carbon, but here both the methyl present on the same carbon. It means the length is not going to change, but the position of methyl is changing right now. It means they are position isomers of each other, but chain isomers with respect to the first compound, like that. So you must know the basic definition of a chain isomerism. It means any two compound having the same molecular formula, but they have difference in the length of carbon chain, they are called as a chain isomers. See here, 4 carbon, 3 carbon, length has been changed. 5 carbon, 4 carbon, length has been changed. 6 carbon, 5 carbon, length has been changed with respect to first. 4 carbon, length has been changed with respect to the first compound. The meaning is they have same molecular formula, but change in length of carbon chain, change in the length of carbon chain, change in the length of carbon chain with respect to the given first compound, right? See, now I am telling you how to draw these structure. I am telling you one line that a hint for you. Okay, never do branching on terminal carbon. By this hint na, you can write these chain isomers of what I was discussing. Never do branching on terminal carbon. This is the best hint to draw the chain isomers. Suppose I am telling you this example again, the same C4H10 what I was discussing. I have these 4 carbon chain this. Now read the statement, never do branching on terminal carbon. It means write the 3 carbon chain, cut 1 methyl, right? And that 1 methyl is in my hand. Now never do branching on terminals. Then place them